is Putting the I in Team. I'm Francine Edwards, the Dean of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. Thanks for joining me. Today's session is divided into 4 modules. The unattributed quote, "There's no I in team," is going to be disputed. Teams cannot and should not operate as a homogenized whole. Rather, each team is a collection of individuals, and the success of that team and the success of a project depends on autonomous collaboration. So before we delve into talking about the I in team, let's take a look at what teams are. Module 1. What is a team? Take a minute to ponder the 2 questions. What type of team are you currently a part of? And what kind of team member are you? Any member of today's workforce may find themselves supervising one, if not all, of the types of teams that are discussed in this chart. The first type of team is a traditional team. The team has a purpose among the members, and this distinguishes them from a group. The team requires mutually agreed upon principles for operation, such as having agendas for meeting, following procedures and practices, and having decision-making processes. A team is interdependent, meaning that everyone works from a shared understanding for the good of the team and not for themselves. And effective teams distinguish tasks from processes. The process is how the team does things, and the task is what they're working on together. Self-directed teams are a team that is responsible for a whole product, process, or production. The team actually plans the work and performs it. They manage many tasks. They either have been given a supervisor or they will choose a supervisor from amongst them. And they may even have a facilitator that's selected internally by the team or that comes from the outside. And their whole purpose is to make sure that the team increases their ability to work together effectively and that they stay on track. And then lastly, there are E-teams. An E-team is a group of individuals who work across time and space and organizational boundaries. And the strength of these types of teams are their ability to use technology, apps, and the web to get the job done. Let's talk about the phases of team development. Each stage of team development has its own recognizable feelings and behaviors, and understanding why things are happening in certain ways on your team can be an important part of the self-evaluation and team process. The first stage is forming, and this is the initial orientation period. This stage is complete when the members begin to see themselves as part of the group. So in the forming stage, you may not really understand what you're supposed to do. The members may not really know each other that well, but that's the purpose of this stage, is to get that initial orientation underway so that the team can move forward. The second stage is storming, and this is where members begin to find their place as a part of the team. The team members now feel more comfortable giving their opinions, sharing thoughts and ideas. The next stage is norming. Team members begin to use their past experience to solve problems, pull together, and even address and handle conflict, tough decisions that need to be made, and ultimately, they're really working to accomplish the team goals. The next stage is performing. In this stage, there is complete harmony. Tasks and roles are defined. People have worked out some of those relational glitches, and the team actually has started producing results. Members have learned how to work together, manage that conflict, and they're contributing resources for the right purpose. And the last stage is dissolving. When the team has completed the task or the work at hand, they either go back to their original groups or they reorient to continue on to the next phase of a project if necessary. Let's take a look at the 5-pronged model for team effectiveness. Teams can continuously improve their effectiveness by focusing on or improving their functions in 5 key areas. Goals are pretty much clear. They are what the team aspires to achieve. The roles, these are the parts that each member plays in achieving the team goals. And you have to have clear roles and responsibilities. People need to know their job description and understand it. There needs to be a level of accountability. And each team member must have a level of qualification and competencies in order to be able to do the job. There need to be clear procedures for everything from solving problems to decision making to managing that conflict, planning, implementing things, meeting, managing change, and even evaluating the performance of people on the team. Then there's that relational aspect. Teams thrive when there are positive relationships, and those relationships are built upon mutual respect and trust, support, inclusion, listening, and providing feedback. Strong leadership means that the person in charge is credible. They have a strategic laser focused on helping each member of that team accomplish its goals. They set out clear expectation. Communication is strong. And the leader does hold all members of the group responsible and accountable. Let's recap Module 1. Teams leverage the activity of the individuals on the team. When done with clear intent and directed at an established set of goals, teamwork will help you achieve success quicker and easier than if you did things on your own. In a team-centered work environment, it is nearly impossible to be successful if the team can't follow clear goals and get back on course quickly when things get off course. Now that you have a better understanding of what teams truly are and how they form, it's time for us to take a look at the I in team. Module 2, Understanding the I in Team. Take a moment to reflect on these two questions. What does the I in team mean to you? How do you motivate individuals to contribute to the team? Or is that even your responsibility? Why the I in team matters. Great teams have great individuals. So if you say that the I in team doesn't matter or that there's no I in team, it causes us to ignore the power of each individual member. Individuals bring contrast to the team environment, and they challenge team members to perform at their highest level. As individuals, we must learn to balance our own desire to be a contributor and optimize our performance as part of a team. Understanding and managing our own humanity is key to being a strong team member. The reality is that people affect those around them, and they in turn influence them. So that's why the I in team truly matters. Challenging individuals to be great. People find meaning and enthusiasm when opportunities provide a chance to be challenged, to even have some socially enriching experiences along the way, when they get to do something well and be praised for it, when they do things good using the skills and the talents that they bring to the table, and when they have the opportunity to change or improve the way that things are in the environment that we're working in. So let's recap Module 2. Leaders have to work to instill strong ethic in team members. The ability to be flexible, focus on individuals and team goals, and to have an understanding of your own strengths and challenges will help you as an employee be the best I that you can be on a team. And so now that we've talked about teams and roles of team members, let's take a look at consensus building. Module 3, Consensus Building. We argue that celebrating the differences in team members, whether it's their background, experiences, skill level, or behavior, sets a more stable foundation for effective and autonomous collaboration. Even when it comes to consensus building, we have to have a focus on the I, or the individual. In an organizational setting, not only does the purpose of the team need to be clear, there also has to be clarity about what constitutes failure so that moving toward consensus is done with a purpose. Both individual and team goals should be clearly defined, or responsibilities will not be taken by every individual. Why consensus building is important. Considering individuals in the consensus building process is significant. At the core of it is the concept of individual ownership of decisions. The consensus building process allows a variety of people to have input in the decision-making process rather than leaving controversial decisions up to someone else. When individuals aren't allowed to engage in the consensus building process, one or more of the stakeholder groups is usually unhappy and dissatisfied. While consensus building does take time, it helps to develop solutions that have longevity. Consensus building helps to ensure that all parties and interests are heard and considered. At the end of the day, the human condition that drives our activities and actions are at play. Everyone is looking for a win or some semblance of self-satisfaction. And with consensus building, this is possible because participants make the final decision themselves. It's absolutely possible to build very productive relationships with even the most adversarial of individuals. Regardless of a person's original intent, opinion, or position, the key to closing a positional gap is simply a matter of finding that common ground. The bottom line is that people matter. Consensus building is one way to allow all members of a team to come together and rally around a common cause or a set of goals. Consensus building means working through challenging scenarios and situations for the greater good. Module 4. Individuals, the foundation of strong teams. It is important to focus on individuals as the foundation of strong teams because individuals have the ability to actively choose to succeed and to influence others. To this end, team members must believe that their colleagues have the skills needed to achieve certain goals and that everyone will be committed to collaborating effectively to get the job done. Leaders want to invest in creating a culture of individuals who believe in the team concept. Believe it or not, many people who do work as a part of a team don't really buy into the team philosophy at all. And so what can be done from the leadership perspective? Define relationships. Make sure that you do this in a way in which each team member understands their task and understands that they have the ability to undertake their own role independently in support of and in collaboration with other coworkers. Peer support can mobilize energy, motivate successors, and encourage all team members to commit to excellence. Peer learning and the learning community philosophy has been studied in both educational and work environments, and the positive influence of colleagues promotes self-efficacy and commitment to the unit's goals. One of the most valuable aspects of a team environment is that each member, if given the right conditions, learns about his or her own strengths, challenges, and worth. A successful team is made up of a group of carefully chosen individuals who understand and value their own contributions, but also embrace an attitude to achieve an identified outcome for the organization. Each employee must feel a personal involvement with the group's goals and objectives. Individuals must feel that their contributions to the team is just as important to the overall success of the group. Otherwise, their motivation and mental investment in the process might be minimal. Focus on single intelligence that works with people who are motivated in relationship with one another. When a team is assembled, seek individuals who have the skills required to play their roles and the ability and willingness to work with others toward a common goal. Make sure that you show appreciation for the roles of others. Often overlooked are the abilities and willingness to work collaboratively and the acceptance of a common goal and process. So here are some final thoughts. Your challenge is to always think about the I in team. You have a responsibility to picture and describe your preferred future as vividly as possible. Ultimately, everyone wants to be successful, but how you get there day in and day out is really what matters. If you encourage individuals to focus on their own ability and bring respect to the environment, invoke a sense of personal pride, and stretch their own thinking, this will transfer to the team.